viewers at home, you very kindly offered a place for free on the next Balanced Man retreat. Now, there are only limited places,
Yep.
but there's one space for free for somebody watching this. What would be your message to them?
I'm Terry Bullman.
Against me. Of course. I love it.
Are you going to do it with us?
No. I will not go 100% on you. I am a professional. I have control. And I don't give a shit if you hit me. What do you want?
The money.
I don't have any money. Go ahead, pull the trigger, bro.
You good?
Yep.
Good, man. First of all, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
Really, and thank you for having me, first of all. I mean, look at this place.
That's not bad, huh?
It's every morning I'm waking up and it's like I'm waking up in heaven every day. It is beautiful. Do you get bored of this?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Well, for those that don't know, this is of course Behind the Mask, and I'm joined here with Terry Bullman. Terry and we met last month at the retreat, and that was on Mickey and Danny's retreat. You very kindly hosted, and we got to talking, and your background, your story, your vision, I was just captivated by. So I would love to share your story, and I would love to get to know you a little bit more. So, in your own words, brother, how did you end up here?
Ah, man. So, 2016, end of 2016, it was around Christmas time, New Year's, and my buddies, I had a couple friends, Gary and Jeb, that wanted to go on a trip, and my buddy Jeb said, have you heard of Nosara, Costa Rica, which I hadn't at the time. Had never been to Costa Rica, had never heard of Nosara, but he wanted to surf, and I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. So,
big surfer?
He's not a big surfer, so I was surprised, but I think he wanted to try, and Gary at the time was totally into yoga instructor, and as you may know, this is like a mecca for yoga and retreat. So we came, and I loved it. It was great. I love the vibe. I'm not really a yogi, or wasn't at the time. Not a surfer. Not a surfer, but I just loved the vibe. The health vibe here, and it was tranquil, and we had a great time. But really, it was a vacation. And then the following year, we came. They wanted to come back, and I was like, yeah, it was good. But I was training for an IBJJF jiu-jitsu tournament, and I think I was 2 or 3 weeks out, and I was like, I can go, but I've got to train. So when we came, I kept seeing these signs for this place called Jungle's Edge, and it said jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, and I was like, oh yeah, this is it. But in Nosara, the sign usually isn't very close to the actual place. So I would see the sign, and I looked and just never could find the place. And then we were at this pizza joint, Diaz Piaz, and my buddy went up to pay, and he saw a sticker for jiu-jitsu. This might have been 2 or 3 days into the trip.
Okay.
And he saw a sticker for jiu-jitsu. He said, "Hey, you guys." And sure enough, those guys trained at Jungle's Edge, Oscar and Ramon. And they actually came to where we were staying the next morning, picked me up, took me to the gym. Great guys. Met Daniel, who's still my jiu-jitsu coach to this day. And
It's a great name.
Daniel, that's what I thought. I had this feeling you would like that. But, I trained with these guys, and then the owner, it ended up, it's not just a jiu-jitsu gym, it was a retreat center. And he was out there at the time. He's since moved on and opened his own space. But the owner of the retreat center came and talked to me, found out that I owned a couple of gyms. I had some gyms in the States at the time, primarily Krav Maga, fitness, kids, martial arts gyms.
So that's your background, right? You Krav Maga and martial arts.
Yeah, so I've I had martial arts schools for like 15 years, but taught for the last 30 years, taught martial arts. But this was in Knoxville, Tennessee. I had some studios there. Since I've closed those and moved here. But so anyway, I trained with him, but he said, "Have you ever thought about doing retreats?" I was like, "No." He said, there were some guys that had been there who were Krav Maga guys and kickboxing guys, So he encouraged me to do a retreat. And for me, I thought, oh man, that would be cool. Basically get to come down and do what I love to do and make some money and be on vacation, which is really...
Of course.
The second time I came back, it was just a little more like, man, this place feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's just something about how I feel and my energy when I'm here. But I still didn't know that obviously this would eventually be my home. But I saw another guy, Sean Fagan, who's the Muay Thai guy, and at the time he had like 40 dudes on this retreat.
Wow.
And was making pretty good money per head. I started doing the math. Man, you can really make a living doing this. And like I said, it's like a free vacation. So I went back. My first retreat was maybe 4 or 5 months later. I brought 3 guys.
Awesome.
Didn't make any money, but got a vacation out of it, and fell in love with doing it. I'd been in the gym industry for years and loved people and loved taking people through a fitness journey or self teaching people self-defense and the empowerment of it. But there was just something different about the hospitality side, right? I loved people experiencing Costa Rica for the first time, or experiencing the food, or experiencing the culture and the oohs and the ahs, and the for me, I'm a people pleaser by nature, so that just felt great. So there's
an energy here, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's an aura of something.
Yeah.
I can feel it. So hard to articulate and describe.
Yeah.
I think
Specifically
I know what
Nosara. I mean, Costa Rica as a country is a little different, I think, than most other places, but specifically Nosara, some people call it a vortex. I won't get into all of that, but it just has this energy, and people still to this day are like, oh man, I can't believe you moved. I mean, of course, they always call it an island. But, of course it's a beautiful place and tropical weather. But for me, it's a couple of things. It's the people, and then it's how I feel when I'm here. But especially at that time, my wife and I bought this place in November of 2019.
Okay.
And I'm not
Just
sure
before
if
COVID.
Oh, you know about COVID. You've heard of it.
Have you guys heard about COVID? I don't know if it's made the...
Yeah, so yeah, we bought it at it and in a time, or right before a time where, before I decided to move here, things got pretty dark and bleak and people were depressed, and it was just everything was this kind of negative energy. So one of the biggest things I loved about being here is the people that live here are the happiest people. Even the guys, holding the signs on the side of the road for road work, construction workers, doesn't matter if they're working a little, tamale stand on the side of the road, they're always smiling, they're always joking and laughing, and then everybody else is on vacation, so they're happy. So I'm just always surrounded by happy people, and energetically that just feels good. So after that first retreat, I was hooked, and I was coming back maybe 2 or 3 times over the next year, and the group kept growing. Most of the people were coming from my studios, and then in December of 2018, I had a group come. I think it was nine people, and a couple of things happened. I had a lady who trained with me back home, who very affluent, wealthy, had some ladies in her office that she brought that I trained as a group, kind of a corporate kind of thing. And when she came, she loved it, and she said, I'd really like to invest in some real estate here, maybe do a retreat center. Hope you ever thought about opening your own retreat center, and I'll buy the property, you do the retreats, and we'll split it. Yeah. I'm thinking, man, low risk for me.
Of course.
Gonna get to do what I love. I still had the thought that I would be splitting time and coming here maybe once a quarter, but yeah, I was sold. So we started looking for properties, and I was super excited. And then at the same time, Lizzie, who's now my wife, came on the retreat. And we had met in Tennessee. A mutual friend had introduced us and encouraged her to come on my yoga retreat. Because at the time, I made yoga part of the retreat, but I was basically having them walk over to Bodhi Tree, and I would buy like a 10-pack of classes, and they could use that. So as Lizzie came, and she came on this retreat, we
hit it off
and fell in love, and
so you guys didn't know each other before that?
Well, we not before her friend had introduced us, and there was a spark there. She had literally just broken off like a 5.5-year relationship. She was kind of in this space of not really knowing what was next, but
in walks the knight in shining armor type thing.
Yeah. I'll take that. Well, it was really weird because we've both talked about it. It's like we I mean, she's beautiful, so she's my type.
Sure.
But it wasn't. It was a different feeling, a different. It was just a different attraction. It was a different type of attraction, and that we were just supposed to be together. You can't really
love that.
describe it, but not the typical butterflies. Oh my God, like this crazy kind of pheromone attraction, but just something like
you knew.
You're it. This is it. This is my person.
Hey, buddy. That type of thing.
Yeah. So that relationship started. At the same time, this partnership with the other lady, with doing the retreat center. So life is, I'm pumped. So I was coming back like every month, looking at properties. We found 2 places that we put an offer in on. one in Guiones Sur, down in South Guiones, and another one in North Guiones. It was like a hotel. And everything's going great. And then Lizzie and I, in May, got engaged here on the beach.
Amazing.
You know, which is like, you know, it was from December to May, and we're engaged.
Wow.
Now, I had been divorced for 16 years,
Okay.
happily.
Yeah.
Never thought I was getting married again.
Happily divorced.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here I am proposing to this girl, you know, 6 months after meeting.
Yeah. Wow.
All of my friends are like, "Are you all right?" Like, nobody thought this would happen. So, and then things got weird, you know, with the partner. So it just
Didn't work out.
yeah, and I won't go into the details of that story, but it didn't work out with the partner, and she pulled out. But at that time, I was already sold on the dream, right? I was already in, and I'm kind of a dog on a bone when it comes to things. If I, you know, once I get in it, once I'm in it might take me a minute to get in it, but once I'm in it, like, I'm in it.
Yeah.
So I started looking for other investors. The deal fell through, obviously. I mean, we were like 30 days from closing.
Oh, wow.
So it was crushed by that. But, so now I'm trying to find an investor. It's, you know, like summer of 2019.
Yep.
And we go out to eat with, you know, Lizzie's parents one night, you know, and I'm kind of telling them about everything, and they're like, "Oh, well, we've never been to Costa Rica, you know, we might be interested in investing."
Epic.
Yeah. So I had just came, so the very first place that the other partner and I looked at was literally the property next door. And that was like a year and a half previous. And then my realtor at the time said, "Hey, the place next door to the place you went, guys, is open." And it had been for sale. For whatever reason, we couldn't get in that day to see it. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll go look." Man, I walked out onto the balcony of the what's now the Karma Penthouse and saw this amazing view and just the energy. And I was like, "This is it. This is it.
This is it."
And so her parents came down. They felt the same thing I did. We made an offer and got the property. And just, you know, I'd always loved the word kismet. Not Jewish, but
What does it mean?
It's a Yiddish word that means fate, destiny, or things turn out the way they're supposed to.
Perfect.
So for me, this became Casas Kismet.
Yeah.
And then Lizzie and I, like I said, got married at a place called Finca Austria here in November 30th. We signed the papers on this place in November.
I already know what's coming.
Man, it was life was
Perfect. Yeah.
And then, or my favorite Spanish word, entonces, COVID happened.
Yeah.
You know, and the rumblings of COVID and you know, December, January, you know, she went back to the States. She was a nurse. Didn't work with sick people, but she was in the nursing field. And, you know, like weird shit started, as you know, shit started happening. I had started a retreat literally the day after our wedding, which she still holds against me. I did not get points for that. But in my mind, hey, we got to pay for this place.
Of course.
You know, your parents, you know, came in as investors, and
time to
there's
get
a
to
lot
work.
of pressure. I mean, literally the second time I met Lizzie's parents, I asked for her hand in marriage. So I didn't know these people very well.
Yeah.
They didn't know me. You know, they trusted me enough with their daughter, but like I'm new. It was new.
Of course.
So a lot of pressure, and I had a gym back in the States. So, and I traveled for security work, teaching Krav Maga for a company out in LA.
So you would train security guards essentially?
I was training people out in the field, you know, in for this particular company, they had executives and people in the actual field, and the places, you know, I was actually set to go to Sinaloa.
Wow.
COVID might have saved my life because I was set to Sinaloa, and I was basically training them on how to respond to the cartel, you know, as a group, if they were taken, you know, if they were accosted, you know, and people always say, well, what do you do against 4 guys with machine guns? I'm like, whatever in the fuck they say.
Yeah, whatever they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey. But a lot of that is training how to de-escalate, how to remain calm, you know, and then at the end there is this last piece of Krav Maga. If, you know, it's mano a mano and they're walking you out to the desert or the jungle and you know, like, this is it, you know, maybe go down fighting.
Of course.
But a lot of it was just things to look for, awareness, how to remain calm, how to de-escalate, where to, you know, that sort of thing. So needless to say, I was here, came back. Lizzie and I came back in December because everything was still good. And then I had a retreat in March of 2020. And that's when shit really got... So Lizzie came and then went back, and then I stayed, did the retreat, and then the lockdowns happened.
So were the people out here when lockdown happened? Did you have people, retreat members here?
Oh yeah.
When the lockdown happened?
So they had to, you know, it was to go, and then I had a couple of dudes here that were here, and they're like, we don't want to go back. We're going to get locked down. Let's get locked down here. So I was here for like almost a month with these guys. You know, we were having a blast because we're, you know, going to the beach, and my wife, my new wife is stuck back home. She's a nurse. I'm hearing all these stories of the, you know, people in stores going crazy about toilet paper and you know, I'm like, what the fuck? They're having curfews and luckily we were in Tennessee, so it wasn't as bad as some other parts of the U.S., but it was still like, you know, unknown and unsure of what's happening.
What was that like as a as her partner, as her protector, her provider, as a man, knowing that your new wife, your new love of your life, your destiny is trapped somewhere and shit's kicking off and you just can't get there? I mean, what did that feel like?
It was, you know, you feel almost helpless. And, you know, to be honest, some of it at the time was a choice that I was here because I didn't know how bad it was. And selfishly on my part, I was like, all right, I don't want to go back to that shit. You know, I didn't feel necessarily that she was I didn't feel that she was in danger. I just thought, man, this is stupid. But at the time, it was only, 2 weeks to stop the spread? So it was just like, fuck.
It's only 2 weeks.
People are locked down and it's 2 weeks. Why would I, you know,
of course.
Why would I go back?
Yeah.
You know, and my son was there. You know, he was like 16 at the time, 15, 16. They were there together. And you know, so I felt like there was somebody there. Not that, you know, my son and I have necessarily the same equipment to protect. But, you know, and I was talking to her every day. And she's like, yeah, man, shit's getting weird here. So then it came down to they were closing the borders. And it really wasn't a decision, but I had the decision, hey, you stay and ride it out or you go back. And my wife said, you need to come home, which I did, you know.
Of course. Of course.
When I left, they closed the borders for 8 months. So I have this hotel or retreat center that I've had for a minute. We've had
You got a
two
taste of
small
the dream.
retreats,
Yeah.
right? Very two small retreats, and then I had to leave, man. And it was like 8 months. I had a camera actually set up on a little rancho we had here, and I would go on the camera and it was overlooking the pool, and I would just look. I mean, it was, in March, April, May, it was beautiful here, and I was in hell there because, my gyms closed for 6 weeks. We had a mandatory lockdown. At the time, I had close to 500 members. That dropped from 500 to 170 in less than 60 days. And quite frankly, never recovered. That's why I closed them. I held on as long as I could and ended up having to file bankruptcy and let them go.
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Similar for you, yeah?
Not a gym, but I was online coaching, so I had 42 one-to-one personal clients, weekly clients, £100 a week, making good money. I was doing well. And then COVID happened, and I went from 42 members to 2 members.
Oh.
I woke up to 40 emails saying, got to cancel. So that morning I woke up, and my whole life.
Yeah. Well, us and like how many
everyone,
millions of people.
Yeah,
right?
everyone. But when you're in it, as you know, it's hell. It was hell. Yeah.
Well, and I'm like, who buys a fucking hotel in another country and immediately a global pandemic happens?
The worst luck. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or was it?
Let's continue.
So when the borders reopened in October, and I was on the first flight back, and as I look back, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard on my marriage, because in my mind I needed to be here. I wanted to be here, but also needed to be like, we got to get this thing. If it hadn't been for Lizzie's parents, because we did owner financing, we had paid 50% down, did owner financing, so we were stroking, major. Well, say we. He was making major contributions every month to keep this thing, to pay for it. We had to have one employee here that we were paying for 8 months. And Allie. She was finding stuff to do. She was working and cleaning in the rainy season here. No one could be here, and it's still an 8-hour-a-day job.
She's amazing.
Just to fight the jungle.
Yeah. To fight the jungle.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Once I was able to come back, man, when that plane touched down, and I stepped out, and I felt that, then immediately, that was the moment where I was like, this is home. This is home. This isn't the place where I come and visit. Like this energy, it just fed my soul, right? So I was here, every month, was here. I was going back and forth, and it fucking sucked. The mask and the plane, and it was just terrible.
Hysteria. Yeah.
But we started doing retreats again. They had so many, people were having to get tested before they went back. So we were doing, we're having to get them they would come, and then we'd have to get them tested and take pictures and do all these things. But it was happening. I was here.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, the retreat started. People are so happy to get to come. Right, there was still a lot of fear, so there were a lot of people that still weren't traveling, and there was still a lot of countries that weren't allowing travel. But Costa Rica was one of the first countries to open their borders up. It killed the economy.
Yeah.
This country, about 90% of their, gross national product is tourism. Like without tourism,
it's done.
So people, it was bad. So. It was a little bit of a riff Lizzie was a rock, but it was hurting her that, you know, I was here, she was there. You know, I was trying to make the gyms. I was still fighting to get the gyms, and I just assumed everybody would come back.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
I hoped and prayed.
Yeah, they didn't. You know, some of them did, but most of them had either found something, you know, they bought equipment and was working out at home. They had gotten really fat and depressed and just, that wasn't part of their life anymore. Didn't want to start over. And then some of them were still scared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't judge them for that, but, you know, that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know, when I could get back in, I pretty much moved here at the end of 2020.
We're talking September, October 2020? November?
It was October, November
Gotcha.
2020.
Gotcha.
And then, you know, Lizzie was coming some and back and forth. And then we made the move full time in 2021. We decided to sell everything. I still had the gyms, was going to sell those, and so we sold everything and moved here. Yeah.
The second lockdown, how did that affect you?
The second lockdown. Well,
So I think that was December 2020 to February, March 2021. I can't remember the dates now.
Yeah.
But it was early 2021, I think.
yeah,
Did that have a big impact as well, or was that less of an impact?
it was less of an impact. Still an impact
Of
because, you know, with travel and people, you know, so it affected a lot of retreat centers. And Lizzie and I were very fortunate. It was just like to be honest with you, I didn't have much of a plan. You know, I didn't know anything about hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a degree, didn't go to college, had been in the gym space and worked with people. I know people,
Mm-hmm.
right? I connect with people. So, but another place similar to this, Costa Rica Yoga Spa, sold. And they made it like an addiction center, a treatment center. So
Awesome.
they had all of this retreat business that needed a place to go.
Often. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I
Terminal at
went
last.
to a friend to buy a car. She asked if I could just go look at this car. And I was like, yeah, all right. And went and looked at the car, and it was the owner of the spa. And we start talking, and you know, and it unfolds, and I was like, oh man. And I was like, oh, you're selling. I was like, where are your people going? He's like, I don't know.
Wow.
So we absorbed a lot of their business.
A chance meeting, a random event.
Was it?
Random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We absorbed a lot of the business, so that was a feeder for a lot of the retreats, because my gym was the feeder for my retreats, and
That gone.
you know, it's now gone. So that helped. Another place called Aki was a retreat center similar. Someone bought it and made it their personal residence.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
a pretty sweet house. And again, we absorbed a lot of that business. So, and it was wild because we were a lot of these retreat leaders' saviors,
Mm.
and they were our saviors,
Mm.
right? And I think when that happens, it just feels so good, right? Like, oh my God, thank you so much. And we're thinking, thank you so much. You know, so it was a really cool way, the way that it unfolded. Just, you know, it was kismet.
It was kismet.
It was kismet. It was supposed to, I truly believe we are supposed to be here. We are supposed to be doing exactly what we're doing. You know, of course, it's a livelihood for us. We're making money. But when you can make money, help people, and you love what you do,
That's
that
it.
is heaven.
That is
Right?
it.
That's
Yeah.
the dream, right? That's every morning I wake up, I'm like, yes. You know, and I loved my gyms. I loved what I did, but, you know, after a while it kind of loses its luster, and it's still a job.
Yeah. Becomes a bit samey.
Yeah.
You're
but-
checking in almost, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
here, I wake up, I look out at the ocean, you know, I always wanted to live near the ocean, and I didn't even see the ocean until I was like 18 years old.
Wow.
My parents, we never went to the beach. We literally never, I did not see a beach until I was 18.
Where were you brought up then? Born and bred?
Weaverville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Just like 10 minutes outside of Asheville. I normally say Asheville because people don't know where Weaverville is. I grew up on like a 100-acre farm. You know, we had cows and chickens and tobacco and hay, and so it was like a working farm.
Country life.
Country. I'm a country boy for
Country
sure.
boy.
I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, I think when I was 24.
Wow. What experience that must have been.
Yeah, I moved. Actually, a boxing coach, Ace Miller, he's passed now. God rest his soul. But it was close enough to drive because I had my son when I was 23. I had my son, and I was able to drive and train, come back, see him. You know, it was and then I actually moved, and then was just doing the trip. You know, I did the trip every other weekend for 18 years. Yeah. But yeah, I moved to box. I became a professional boxer, I think at 25, 26.
Wow. Okay.
Did that for, you know, and I would have a fight a year. You know, it wasn't because had my son and I'm working and at the gym and training, so it was more of a part-time gig. But yeah, I've boxed.
Boast to me. Give me tell me what you achieved in your fighting career. Give me the, you know.
I was
Boast.
6-2 as a heavyweight boxer. I kickboxed for the World Combat League. I had a chance. That was the Chuck Norris League. I had a chance to be the starting heavyweight for them. It was the New York Clash was the team I was on. You know, before I started boxing professionally, I fought in, you remember Tough Man? It was a Tough Man or Bad Man contest.
Yeah, go on.
And it would, you know, they would put it up in a civic center or somewhere, and, you know, literally guys off the street would put on a pair of Everlast gloves and just,
Go to
it was
town.
1 minute rounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and just
All out.
Yeah, all out. I actually won 7 of those events, and you know they wouldn't let me fight anymore because I wasn't considered an amateur. Which really, it I won't say it messed me up because everything's divine and happens as it's supposed to, but that was the reason I because I couldn't fight in those anymore. I was like, man, you know, I had this boxing coach. I wanted to box amateur Golden Gloves and try to go to the Olympics, and I mean, I was into it. Don't know if I had the skill, but I was into it. And so when I moved to Knoxville, you know, he started looking into me joining the amateur circuit, and he's like, you can't. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're not considered an amateur anymore. I was like, that was weekend tough man contest. Amateur boxers are the best boxers in the world. And he goes, yeah, but you got paid money. Because you got paid, you know, $500, $1,000.
So therefore
if
you were a
won the
professional.
event, yeah, you're a professional. So my first fight was a pro fight as a boxer, and it was in Harris Casino, pay-per-view. I got knocked out. Yeah, that was a funny. That was a funny thing because I was, like you said, I was straight off the farm, man. I was signing autographs for like an hour before. These people didn't know who I was, but I was white, heavyweight, you know, guy, up and coming. Yeah, man, this is so. I'm like, I've made it. This is it. I'm gonna be the heavyweight champion of the world. You know anything about boxing?
Watch out, Tyson Fury.
Yeah, right. And you know, I fought this kid who was 0-2. You know, great. You know, he's 0-2. I haven't, you know, but I'm feeling good. But he's like, I've came in at like 207. He weighed like 247. He's a big dude.
That's a lot
But
of
not
mass.
worried. I fought a big dude, a lot of big guys and tough man. And we come out, man, and he is like the wildest, craziest, swinging for the fences. Like I'm hitting him. I'm like, oh, bro. This dude throws a right hand, and I lean back away because honestly, I didn't have much of a defense. You know, in the tough man, I hit them, they hit me, and most of the time they fell down.
Who's the toughest?
Yeah, who's the toughest.
Yeah.
So this dude, but now we're wearing, instead of 16-ounce gloves and headgear, we have no headgear, 10-ounce gloves, and these guys are pros. Even though this guy was green, it was different. He threw a right hand, and I leaned back, and he came up from the floor with a straight arm left hook and caught me on the chin.
That's what she wrote.
And I remember waking up and the ref standing over me. And he goes, 9!
Oh, no.
And my first thought, right, this is my first pro fight. My first thought is, oh, they must count backwards in the pros. Right? It's a 10 to 1.
9.
Yeah, right? I'm like,
seconds.
I got plenty of time. They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No.
They don't count backwards. And I mean, when I went down it was the first time I had been knocked down or knocked out. I think maybe I'd been knocked down in one of the tough man fights, but I honestly didn't think, because I had taken so much punishment, I'd been hit so much, I can't be knocked out.
Sure.
I got a chin of stone. No.
No. Just tough
So
glass.
it was devastating.
Yeah.
But I came back. I trained for defense for a year and a half.
How long did it take you to overcome that loss?
Honestly, probably a good 2 or 3 months of just man, because it was my first pro fight.
Yeah.
I had a sponsor. I mean, I was getting paid to train. My sponsor pulled out, because at that time with boxing, if you didn't have a perfect record, with MMA it's different. You see guys of 6 or 7 losses on their record, and they're the world. They're the world champ. They're the best. That's cool. That's part of the struggle and the adversity and coming through. And oh man, this guy started in his career and he was getting beat, and now look at him. With boxing, typically they padded that you were fighting these people. My first fight, the guy was 0-2. They're matching you up to give you the best possible chance of winning, to give you this record of 25, 30-0, so you get the big money fights. And there was always the hope of this great white heavyweight, that wasn't Russian or from the UK. And so, yeah, he pulled. So I was devastated. Now I gotta work and train.
I'd imagine there's a lot of pressure then on that second fight.
Yeah, there was a ton. But the second fight didn't happen, I think, till maybe a year later.
Okay.
Because my coach realized pretty quickly I didn't have much of a defense, and he was a defensive specialist.
Oh, that's handy.
He had trained a couple of world champions, and he was a defensive specialist. So literally, for that year, I would go 25 rounds and not throw a punch. And, these guys are coming in, and I got to where, and it's helped me to this day. I'm not worried about what you're going to do, so it makes my offense so much better.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm unhittable, but it helped me so much to realize, oh, okay, I can slip that, move that, dodge that. If I get hit with it, not a big deal. Not getting hit solid.
The best
So
offense is a good defense.
the next fight was in Memphis, Tennessee, a place called the New Daisy. And it's literally like out of a Rocky movie. I mean, I'm changing upstairs. There's holes in the floor, and I'm looking down at the ring.
Oh, wow.
It's smoke. Like, people are smoking cigarettes, and there's just this haze. I mean, it's literally like...
It's coming up through the floor.
Yeah, it was. And the guy that I was supposed to fight got put in jail the day before the fight.
What?
And I mean, you know, that happens a lot in fighting.
Sure.
You've trained, you've not eaten, you've not had sex. You're ready for weeks. Like you're ready to
Go.
I'm gonna fuck somebody or kill somebody. I don't know which one, but it's happening. And so they give me this replacement fight. Well, the replacement fight, this guy's like your size. He's like huge. Like, all right, but I'm ready to go. I'm trained, and I come out, knock him out in the first round, and it's just like, you know,
Release. Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, I made $500 for the fight.
Nice.
Whoop-de-doo.
Which back in 1975 must have been a lot.
1970. I see what you did there. I see you got it. Well played, sir. Well played. I mean, I literally took everybody out to the rendezvous for ribs after, and there went my prize money. But I was then that was, you know, I'm back.
Yep.
And I had, you know, another 5 fights over the years. I had another, you know, it was 6-2. So yeah, I had another 4 fights. I'd fight like once a year, and I won, you know. I went on. It was winning, knocking people out. You know, some were tough. You know, it would go to a draw, but I was winning. And then the last fight, man, I invited. It was in my hometown. There were people, like hundreds of people there to watch me. They put me against a kid that was 4-24.
He lost 24 fights.
24 fights. He won 4 fights, lost 24.
Wow.
And I don't know if it was a last minute replay, like what happened, but I was so like, oh man, I was like, fuck, really, guys? There are all these people here, and you got this fucking, you know, dude in here. And,
I've got an easy one lined up.
Yeah. But I didn't want that. I mean, I wanted to win, you know, but with a record like that, you literally have nothing to gain and everything to lose.
Yeah, of course.
Right? It's like fighting a girl.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You're an asshole if you win, right? And you're a bitch if you lose. Like you're right. Yeah. It's the same type of thing. It was. So, I don't know if it was just my mentality, or you know, but yeah. And he came out like with his arm down, his hand was on. I'm like, all right. I'm jabbing him a couple times. This dude hits me with an overhand right, and like, boom. Oh, come back, he hits me again. And on the third one, I go out, and
that's it.
First round, KO by Mr. 24 losses. Devastated. I mean, like, that was my last boxing match.
In front of everyone.
And I hadn't, you know, but I hadn't fought in like 2 years. I was working and training. You know, I didn't take it seriously. And I think it was just time for me to move on. So, that was my last boxing match. And then I got a call from my buddy. I started kickboxing, and my buddy.
How old are you at this point?
Huh?
How old are you at this point?
Oh, 30. 2007. I gotta do math. Don't judge me. Like 34, 35, 36, somewhere in there. I thought I was done fighting, but then I met a guy named Ben Kiker who ended up being my kickboxing coach, and I was driving to Dalton, Georgia, like once a week, and he got me an audition for the World Combat League. At the time, you know, UFC was kind of, and you know they were still kind of figuring it out. So World Combat League was on the Versus channel. It was with Chuck Norris, who was one of my idols as a kid. Of course, you know, I've loved martial arts my whole life, and so I had this tryout so we sent in a tape of me hitting the bag and and they're like, yeah, we need you for this fight. I think it was in San Antonio. And, you know, and this is I don't know if you remember the World Combat League, but you're on a team. So I'm drafted up for the New York class, and I'm there starting. The guy asked me to start, so I'm the starting heavyweight. So each division will have 1 3-minute fight, 1 3-minute round, and then it's an accumulation of points for which team wins. Pretty cool concept. So the guy that I'm fighting, first fight back, last one was a KO from a 4-24 guy. The guy that I'm fighting, his name is Wrath White.
My name is Terry Bullman. I'm a starting heavyweight for the New York class. I took on Wrath White. I think it was his first fight for St. Louis. When I first, I was, a little intimidated when I saw him. I mean, he's 6'6". He's got the name, he's got the look, But I get nervous for all my fights. So it's just another guy. My mentality, I guess, is a little different than other people's. I mean, in order for me to get psyched out for a fight, I have 2 sons, and I basically pretend the guy I'm fighting has them locked in a room, and he's got the keys.
From a big right hand by Terry Bullman. Let's keep it going. Down goes White. It's all over. The New York Clash. Terry Bullman.
A lot of guys are relaxed and they chill and sleep before the fight. I'm very amped up and not really mad, but I go in with that fire.
Wrath. Yeah.
With a W?
Yes.
Jesus.
W-R-A-T-H. Yes. Wrath White. So I'm like, okay, cool name. Dude, we get to the face-offs, right? We're facing off, doing all this stuff, and this is a big deal. This is on, cable. They got all the pomp and circumstance, smoke, and you fight in this round pit. Like, this is new for me. But from Taekwondo and karate, I mean, I'd been kickboxing my whole life. I'd done some Muay Thai with Krav, and so I loved kickboxing. So, like, this guy, when we face off, I'm looking at his nipples. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. Now, he had to cut to 235 for the fight, but I weighed like 205, 6 feet tall, 6'1", 205. And he was the USA Muay Thai kickboxing champion at one time.
So it's not looking good.
I was like, this is great. But the whole the few days we're there, in the face-offs and just the it's a team thing, so his buddies are all like snickering and pointing, and I'm just like, man.
Psychological
and even in the face-off, it was, the announcers again fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, 250 pounds, 6'6", Wrath White, and then literally, and fighting for New York, Terry Bullman.
Oh no!
Right, so I was like, all right, I was not supposed to win. I was the 4-24 guy in this scenario. So. I come out first, and, I got the nerves, but I've had a bunch of fights at this point, it's all part of it. I got them, and dude, he comes out and plays crazy, and we walk down, and they're doing the thing. He literally points it, and it's all part of the show. He's a great guy, but he points at me like this, and he does a throat slash. And the Weaverville, North Carolina came. I was like, I'm just like, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
And they, in the World Combat League, because it's a team event, they encourage us to not touch gloves before. Like, this is you're on a team. The game isn't over. They're like, LeBron doesn't high five. It was Kobe at the time before it's like, you're going. After the match, heck yeah, loving on each other. But so when the bell rang, I walked straight across. He's coming at me, and I fired a hard jab, caught him right on the chin.
That's it.
It wasn't it. But
Right.
it hit him like a telephone pole, and he dropped.
Wow.
And I was, it was like, I was pissed though. I was fighting like, the disrespect and that I felt, and just, I had forgotten all fighting technique, and I was just, boom. So when he stood up, the ref kind of threw his gloves and brings back together. Dude's not looking at me. He's looking at me, but he's not looking.
There.
He does not
there.
see me. He's not there. So the fight continues. I knock him down again, knock him out of the pit, actually. Gets back up and comes again, and I hit him with threw a shot to the body, came back with the right hand and dropped him. Tried to get up again, and the ref held him down. I was so happy we were in a controlled environment and not the street, because I think you would have had to hit this guy with a baseball bat.
Sounds like you had a chin.
He had the chin and heart. I mean, he was surprised, right? I caught him early, in my, for this retreat with the balanced man. And one of the focal things has been action versus reaction. Be first. The fight's inevitable. You start the fight, so I just caught him early, and it went my way. Right? All of them didn't go that way, but that one. And that fight, because someone posted it on YouTube before it came out, either live, before it came out on Versus. So immediately, that was a big fight for me. Re-sparked my, maybe I can't be the world champion.
So you started to develop a name at that point. You could have been
a little bit. Yeah. Started, and it helped my gyms and really more than anything helped my confidence. I was like, I came back from adversity, which so many people have, and so I fought for them. Unfortunately, only 2 seasons. So I only had a couple fights with them. Because the second event, I was training a guy who fought in the UFC, Rafael Oliveira. I was training him, and we were doing mitts to takedown. So he would hit with the mitt, and he would shoot a takedown. That was his game. And on one of the takedowns, I ended up rolling my ankle. So my alternate was Pat Berry, who was an unbelievable kickboxer who fought, Pride, K1. This guy's stopping people with leg kicks, wearing shin pads. Stopping them, he won 2 fights where they couldn't continue from leg kicks.
Wow.
Literally couldn't stand anymore.
Wow.
So then I don't know what reason, if it was money or what happened, but they kind of disbanded and the World Combat League stopped existing. And then I tried MMA. Mm-hmm. So MMA was the rage, it was training. And I'm looking at it, always fought heavyweight. And, these guys at heavyweight were really walking around at, they're fighting at 205, but they're walking around at 240, 245, 250. And I was a small heavyweight. And even in boxing, in hindsight, I should have been a cruiserweight, but I had power and the money was in heavyweight. Of course. So I dropped, for the first time in my life, I dropped and cut to 185. Yeah, 220. At that time, I was a little big. I was like 220, 225. Dropped to 185. I looked like I had something wrong with me. The fight was, again, on Go Fight Live, Harris Casino, not Harris, Trump Marina in New Jersey. Big fight for me, first one. I don't know why I did that to myself, but and ended up losing. Got ground and pound out in that fight. Didn't have much of a ground game then. I trained a little jiu-jitsu, but not really. Still had this belief that for some reason I could just knock everybody out when they tried to take me down, which I found out really quickly that wasn't the case. So I had that fight. around that time in the World Combat League, I was training a guy who's been a great friend of mine for over 20 years, who owned a production company. And I was talking to him one day about this idea that I had for a TV show. And just because I love martial arts, and I was like, I think it's so cool how all these different countries have these different martial arts and different styles, and how they evolved, and the reason that they do some of the things they do in the style. Because, so he pitches it to History Channel, and they picked it up for 17 seasons, 17 episodes, called The Human Weapon. Aired on the History Channel. Super cool. So
you starred and that presented it.
It was my baby. I cast for it, and with no acting experience or anything, didn't get the role.
Okay.
Actually, a guy named Bill Duff, who was an ex-football player at UT, and Jason Chambers, who was, I think at the time, a brown belt, and now he's a black belt under Eddie Bravo in Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then, but for the casting, like Eddie Bravo tried out. Josh Koscheck, all these big name people, Kung Lee. So I got to meet all of these guys. It was super cool.
The name translates as Land of the Free, and it's given birth to one of the world's most distinctive and devastating martial arts. The place is Thailand. The fighting style, Muay Thai.
Now, we're going to explore the ancient temples, mysterious jungle camps, and ruckus fighting pits of this exotic land in a quest to uncover the secrets of Muay Thai. Secrets one of us will have to use in a fight against a real Muay Thai master.
We're in a back alley gym in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah, Muay Thai is everywhere. We're on a journey to explore the history and the culture of Muay Thai, and we have a lot to learn.
Because one of us is going to fight a Muay Thai champion.
There are hundreds of distinct fighting styles in the world. They are practiced in every nation and by every people. Now Jason Chambers, a mixed martial artist and professional fighter, and Bill Duff, a former pro football player and wrestler, are embarked on a mission to explore the history and techniques of these incredible martial arts. And at the end of each journey, one of these two warriors will face the ultimate test. They'll try to survive a real fight with a true human weapon.
But I did do the motion capture. So it'd be two guys, where you put the suit on and you're doing the moves. I did most of the motion capture for the show. I was the martial arts liaison and fight choreography in a few episodes. It was a really, really cool experience.
How long did they shoot for? What was it, 6 weeks, 6 months?
Yeah. We shoot everything, and it was all in all different countries, so it was different teams. I did the Pancration episode in Greece. Got to go to Greece for like 18 days. It was amazing. And then I did the MMA episode. So I got to go to Zuffa and meet Dana White.
Oh, awesome.
It was...
What was that?
Cool. Yeah.
You spent much time with him?
No. I was in his office for a few minutes, got a picture, and was done. But got to do some, that was back in I think Randy Couture was the champ at the time. So I trained at, got to go to Randy Couture's gym, went to Legends, I think Boss Root on that gym at the time. I was part owner. So yeah, it was my dream, getting to meet all these guys, and the show was a success. It only was the 17 episodes, you kind of run out of martial arts to do, but it was a really, really cool experience for me.
So again, helped raise your profile even.
Yeah. I mean, I was a developer for a TV show that did pretty well on cable. So then I was into, am I going to be do TV and all this, and it just kind of, I got a little bit of ADD, if you don't know. I get sparked off, which I feel like that's something we have in common.
Absolutely.
Sparked off on things pretty easy. But yeah, man, my life has been martial arts, since I was 18. That's pretty much, I started in Taekwondo, was the first thing I did. And went to Tough Man, and then pro boxing, pro kickboxing, pro MMA. And then I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. So hopefully on November 11th, I get my brown belt. I was able to win the Master World Championship at blue belt. I won Pans at blue belt. So that felt really good to add to the resume. Because for so many years I didn't like jiu-jitsu. Why these pussies they always want to take it to the ground and grab my ankles and but it's such a key part of 90% of fights end up on the ground. 100% of them start standing. So I'm still a kickboxer at heart, but
if it goes to the ground,
you got to know what to do. Yeah. And it's such a good. I personally believe Krav Maga is the best for true self-defense, especially for women. But I also believe that practically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is probably the best thing for men to train, just because you get the fight feel. You get to roll. You get to be put in vulnerable situations. So in Krav, you don't do a lot of that. Most of the stuff's concepts, and you're training to poke people in the eyes and kick them in the groin, and so the jiu-jitsu actually gets you in shape, gets you the fight feeling. Boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, wrestling, all the arts that are winning in combat sports. All of those are great to train for self-defense. I still think you need the mindset of Krav Maga, but I think jiu-jitsu is probably the best thing guys can train in to give them that fight feel.
Talk to me a little bit more about jiu-jitsu, because my experience is very limited. But we've had a little bit of a play, and I have fallen in love with the principle of it, and I can't wait to do some more. Jake,
will you hold the camera?
Come on, then, big boy.
You take this.
Yesterday at the gym, Terry did say,
I wonder how strong he is. No, I didn't. Because I've already done this. He's fucking strong as shit.
remember everything now? Get a good shots of the big guy.
Ready?
Ready? Go.
Y'all better not let it go a minute one.
I gotcha.
Go.
8 seconds on a bull is one thing. Oi! Oh, hey!
Get him, Dan. Push with your legs.
Oh my God.
There you go, Dan. There you go. You almost in there.
Shrimping, Dan. King Kong versus Godzilla.
Shrimping. Remember, on the neck, underneath.
Come on, Dan.
Don't give up.
Let's go, Dan.
Don't you fucking quit.
Come on, dude. 25 seconds.
Forearm on the neck, Daniel.
Let's
remember.
go.
Do it for England.
Yeah.
Do it for the Queen. Break that.
15.
Overhead toss.
Get that knee in. Get that knee in.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Whoa!
God save the Queen.
What has jiu-jitsu done for you as a man?
I would say fill the gap. You know, I've been fighting for so long. You know, I've had this confidence that I could, you know, hit somebody and knock them out. You know, I've done it. But jiu-jitsu is an art where I've seen 135-pound men hold down men your size.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen 135-pound men with you on top of them that can twist you up like a pretzel. I mean, it's the most humbling, you know, because especially with boxing and kickboxing, skill-wise, I fought really good guys or sparred with really good guys that were, you know, lightweight guys that were better fighters than me, but they couldn't hurt me because of their size. I couldn't really unload on them because of their size. Jiu-jitsu, I mean, size matters. That's why we have weight classes. If all things are being equal, I'm going to bet on the bigger guy. But truthfully, man,
it doesn't matter.
It really, you know, a good black belt that's 140 pounds will destroy 99% of the people out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just unbelievable to me, the leverage, you know, that how heavy they can make themselves. You know, if they have flexibility, you know, especially the Eddie Bravo guys. Like we had a guy here, Brandon McCracken. I mean, they can all put their foot behind their. Yeah, he's an incredible guy, but you know, just an unbelievable art. And again, I still believe true, good Krav Maga is the best for equipping somebody quickly for self-defense, because it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's boxing, it's kickboxing, and the mindset of street defense, the mindset of a 100-pound female or my wife. She can't hurt me by punching me in the face, right? If she does jiu-jitsu and I'm a 200-some-pound man, because she's female, she can do things to keep herself safe, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But for, like I said, men and women who want to feel the fight feeling, to get used to somebody being on top of you, to the struggle, you know, when we had our play, like, I feel like the first time, other than when I picked you up, you said that had never happened.
Let me just touch on that, because so that was the first time we'd met. Well, not met, but the first retreat I was here, and up until maybe 5 years old, 6 years old, maybe 7, I was used to being picked up by my parents, right, which is a normal feeling. Right?
Yeah.
But up until maybe 8, 9, I've never been picked up. Never, not once. I've never been lifted off my feet.
I'm sorry.
I've never been lifted off my feet from that age. So we're talking 30 years now. And obviously I'm a big dude, right? And my sport has allowed me to be this big. So I've always had this confidence. I've never been in a fight. I've been hit once, but I've never been in a fight. Never needed to, which has been very, I'm blessed, if you like, lucky, if you like.
Bit of a charmer.
Like you, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
Like I don't put myself in that environment where I have to worry about using this, you know. So when we were learning the very core basics of jiu-jitsu, and then you were presenting how to do the takedown, and you lifted me up easier than a mother lifts up a baby, and the humbling of that was, well, I needed that first of all. I needed that humbling of fuck, I'm not indestructible.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, a dude who's 30 kilos lighter than me can not only take me down, but fuck me up at the same time. I need to know what this tool is. I need to know how I can benefit from this to defend myself. So, I mean, that's what gave me the bug. You picking me up and putting me on the ground softly as you did, and it was really softly. You picked me up and you just planted me back down. But that for me was the door where I was like, oh, I'm hooked. I need to know this information. So first of all, thank you for that. But
sure,
I can see why you love it. I can see you doing it and you're loving it. And I can see the benefit as a man specifically. I can't speak for women, but as a man, a 38-year-old man who has never been in an environment where I've had to defend myself, learning, being exposed to that vulnerability was essential for me. Essential. So, I just wanted to touch on that, mate. To say thank you for that experience. One of many I've had here, thanks to you and Kismet. But I can see why Joe Rogan was pushing it so much. Daddy, as I call him.
Joe's a black belt too.
Yeah.
He's much better than me. But yeah, and that's the reason that it's a staple in my men's retreats, right? It's we're doing Krav Maga, we're doing boxing. Yesterday we had our little, everybody get used to, get punched in the face. Not hard, but there's so many guys that have never been punched in the face. They've never had someone hold them down, and they think they're indestructible. For some reason, men who don't train, have never been in a fight, for some reason think they're going to turn into Jason Bourne when some shit happens. It's just not reality.
No.
So, the empowerment of it, the humbling of it, the eye-opening of it is super important.
Yeah.
And it's very bonding. Right? Yesterday, we're all hitting each other in the face, trying to, and we're going and da-da-da, and at the end, everybody's hugging and loving on each other, and, because we're making each other better, we're making each other stronger, we're, lifting each other up. I'm a professional fighter. You're not supposed to beat me. Right? But I'm not going to just pummel you and be like, haha, look how much better I am, and that doesn't help me. The better I can make you, the better sparring partner you are for me, right? The more I can lift you up, because eventually, especially now, I'm almost 50 years old, so I'm a little long in the tooth for fighting, and I really am long in the tooth now, right? So for me, it's the teaching. So the best teacher I can be is to give you the tools to beat me.
Yes.
Right? To give you, here's everything, and then it's on you how much you train and how far you want to go. Obviously, most of these guys, all of these guys in this retreat are not going to be cage fighters at the end. The ticket would be a lot higher. But they're going to go home with this feeling of, I can defend myself. I can defend my family. I don't have to feel scared. And a lot of times when you're carrying that aura, you're not going to get messed with.
No.
Right? It's that people don't sense that energy or that feeling that you're weak and they want to, because bullies don't want to fight. They want to go for the mark that is not going to fight back.
Of course.
I can push you and poke you and prod you and punch you and you're not going to do anything. Right? That's the feel that makes them feel good. There's been fights that I haven't won. When I was a kid, I was the smallest kid in school my whole life, believe it or not. So I got picked on a lot. But from like 3rd grade on, you would have to fight.
Yeah.
You can beat me up, you're bigger than me, but you'd have to fight me, and almost always they would only fight me once.
Yes. Yeah.
Even if they beat the crap out of me, they'd be like, it's not worth it. Terry's gonna fucking do his thing, and he's gonna try to fight me back, and it's just not, I don't want all that drama.
Yeah.
So I really, really think it's important for everybody, but especially men, to train.
We touched briefly on the men's retreat, which is called the Balance Man, right? And the last retreat I came on was more plant-based medicine and healing, and we could do a whole episode on that, and I would love to someday. But touching on the men's retreat, which I'm here for, we're day 4 now, I think. Day 4, day 5.
It's a blur.
It's. I was saying to you in the car yesterday. It's so positive, and there's so much love, and it's so awesome. I'm struggling to absorb it all because it's just incredible.
The honest way to face life is to face it with a sneer. There are many men who feel a kind of twister pride and cynicism. There are many who confine themselves to criticism of the way others do what they themselves dare not even attempt. There is no more unhealthy being, no man less worthy of respect.
You don't need breath. You need breakthrough.
Than he who either really holds or feigns to hold an attitude of sneering disbelief towards all that is great and lofty, whether an achievement or in a noble effort which, even if it fails, comes to second achievement. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds?
Keep fucking going.
Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly.
I will not go 100% on you. I am a professional. I have control. And I don't give a shit if you do.
So that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I can say this was one of the most profound experiences that I've ever had in my life.
Hey, my name's Terry Bullman with the Balance Man here at Costas Kismet in Osada, Costa Rica. We just finished our first Balance Man retreat. We had an epic week, a lot of growth, a lot of change for these men. The Balance Man retreat is freedom through discipline. I think discipline is one of the biggest missing components with our men today. If you're looking to make a change, if you're not ready to quit yet, if you're not ready to hang it up, this retreat is for you. Our next retreat is December 9th through the 16th. I would love to see you here.
So from a participant's perspective, brother, what I would love to share with you is not only have the last 4 or 5 days been life-changing in terms of what I've learned, but also what I've experienced in terms of seeing the other brothers transform. There's a brother here called Q, an incredible man, an academic, a businessman, a father, a family man, and we did the boxing yesterday, and I saw the animal come out.
It was the last one. I thought it was going to be an animal.
Me too. And he came back for 2 rounds.
The only one who came back for 2 rounds.
The only one. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Like,
well done, Rio.
Get him while he's tired, Q. Look at those combos. Look at those combos. Fast hands.
Oh, Q! Fuck him up, Q!
Hands up, Q. Hands up. Work those hips. Work those pivots. Oh my God, there's in that toe.
He's fearless.
She said he wants to get popped in the face. He wants to feel it. He wants to know what it's like. He wants to get over his fear. Yeah. Just know, John, just know whatever you give Terry, he'll give you back. Really? Just know. Come on, man. Yeah, Q. Keep going, Q. Beautiful work. Breathe. Keep your hands up. Keep punching. Keep punching. Nice.
Well done, Q! Keep going, buddy! Fight that shadow, brother! Ooh, nice!
Staying in the game.
Get angry, Q!
Oh! Yes, Q! Yes, mate!
Beautiful work!
Fucking epic, mate.
You actually won round 2.
Oh no. Oh no. Got on camera as well. Huh? Yeah. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
We all saw it.
What do you mean? Me. Yeah. And then me and you? Perfect. Control.
I'm going to see that fight after.
Yeah, man. Mate, you did great.
No, he touched you.
Don't think about punching. Punch.
The hand up.
Get some body shots in there, Q.
No, not like that.
Oh, yes, Q! Go on, son! Oh, he's off! Go on, Q!
One hand at a time. Nice. Ooh. See what happens when you drop the hand?
Now you got tired. Huh?
Breathing.
Hands up, dude.
Q's got some fitness, boy.
Keep dancing, baby. Keep dancing on him.
Hands up, dude.
One hand at a time.
Go, Q!
You're tired. This is the fight. 30-second countdown.
30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25,
Go, Q!
4, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18,
Come on, Q! Let's go, buddy!
16, 17, 18,
Yes, Q! Keep going, buddy! Do not stop! Go! All lever! Empty the tank! Empty the tank! Yes, buddy!
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah, buddy!
That's spirit.
There was this, and like you said, it was very light. It was very light, very manageable. His brothers sharing their energy, their love. It's a form of love, and 100% is. And there was a point where you tapped him, and his eyes changed, and he was like, "This is it." And he turned into that beast, which I think he was always looking for, you know. And then he came out, was completely controlled again. Massive hugs, group hugs. It was profound. It was life-changing to watch it. I can't imagine what he experienced and how he feels now. I briefly spoke to him, and Victor, his experience in the breath work was just, I mean, we've captured some of it on camera, but incredible. I mean, every guy here, there's 13 of us, and they've all had these monumental, profound, life-altering, motivational, uplifting experiences. As the host of this retreat, what does that mean to you?
Oh man, you know, like I said in the beginning, that once I moved here and felt what it feels like to be in the hospitality business, that's right. I love it, but there's something about working with men. I've most of my clients, kind of like yourself, when I had the gym, were women. I have a nonprofit called 3B Initiative that sponsors women and children who've been victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking for retreats. So I've always had this kind of focus on women. But the more I research, the more I notice the men around me, and there's such a need for men to, because we don't do it, right? We're like somebody asks you how you're doing. Good.
Yeah, I'm good. You?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, dying inside.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dying inside. So many men are, they're hyper focused on their career, the family, or whatever it is, and they're not taking time to, polish the sword, so to speak, and hone it, build more skills. One of the reasons that I created the Balanced Man Retreat was especially here, there's so many different retreats, and there's some great men's retreats. There's great men's programs. I've been part of some men's programs, but a lot of them, you come, you eat good food for a week, you have all this like spiritual journey kind of thing, you're journaling, you're doing all the things, but you don't get any real tangible skills to take back home with you. So you really go back to the matrix, and it's right back to the bullshit. So I wanted to create something where guys would learn, in my mind, what are masculine skills that they could take back home. The boxing, Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu. We do instinctive archery. We do swimming, open water swimming with Jake, surfing, and then the movement, kinetic movement stuff with Casper, which is amazing. These are all things you can take back with you. Maybe you don't go back and shoot bows, but they're things that you take back, plus all of the spiritual stuff we've done, the breath work. I mean, just knowing how much you can unlock with breath work that you have for free 24/7 is amazing.
People.
.528 love tuner. That's the frequency of love, heart opening. That's what we're going to be doing today at the Balanced Man Retreat here in Nosara, Costa Rica. My name is Jeremy Jackson, and we're getting ready for a beautiful, transformative breath work healing. Join us. Exhale. Big breath in. Hold it. You don't need breath. You need breakthrough. Development. It does not come from doing what is comfortable. It does not come from control. It comes from discipline. There's something much different.
I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I can say this was one of the most profound experiences that I've ever had in my life. So it's crazy. Didn't you put any drugs there?
No drugs. The breath is medicine,
just breath.
Yeah.
And it's free. And it's for free. It just... isn't that amazing?
I thank you, brother.
People don't realise.
They don't realize.
They don't
I didn't realize.
No, me
now
either.
I'm getting certified as a breathwork facilitator under Jeremy because it's such a powerful tool. I've spent my whole life building my body, learning to fight, combat sports, but you kind of neglected that inner side, right? And breathwork. Man, I feel like a fucking beast when we're doing holotropic breathwork, and I'm just energies reverberating through me. Have so much mental clarity. I get all of these nuggets of wisdom, and I'm like, I didn't realize I was this smart. I'm a genius. So it's a super powerful thing, and these are all tools that men can take back with them. And it's an 8-week program. Like, it's not just the retreat. So we'll have a once-a-week mastermind where we're going over the mental side, the spiritual side, the physical side, family and relationships, business and career, just to give these guys tools, right? And there's so much information out there. There's so many good, Andrew Huberman, Joe Rogan, Aubrey Marcus. All these are amazing people that are spreading good word, but Jocko is one of my favorites, but our motto is freedom through discipline, because most of us know what to do. The internet has open light to all these different modalities, and we know there's all these things we could be learning and that we could be doing. We just don't have the discipline and the integrity with ourselves to do it. We're stuck in a rut, we're in the mundane, we're in the mindset of good enough. And really, this retreat, this program is for men who aren't ready to quit.
I love that phrase, mate.
Right? They're still in the fight. They want to, I've been punched in the face a few times, and now I want to learn how to do something about it. And this being the inaugural retreat, it's been better than I could have even dreamed of or hoped for. It's such a blessing for me. It's kind of like the retreat thing, where the retreat center is closing. These people all need a place to go. We're a brand new retreat center with no business. They're so thankful and grateful for us, and we're sitting there like, we're so thankful and grateful for you. That's how I feel on this retreat. I'm hosting this retreat to help men, and the men are helping me. So it's just such a great feeling. This is it for me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Where do you want to take it?
To the moon.
I fucking love that.
Right? I want to help as many men as I can. I want to affect as many lives as I can. We sponsored quite a few guys for this retreat just because they needed it. On the retreat we did with Mickey and Danny, I learned from them that, sometimes people aren't going to have a way to pay for it, and they need it. And if you go ahead and let them come, they'll either bring something to it, or somehow it'll come back.
It always does.
Back, right? So, obviously there's an amount of money that needs to be made to keep all this happening, but I really, it's not about the money for me. I really, truly want to empower as many men as I can. And like I said, selfishly for me, when shit hits the fan, I want to be able to call up my tribe and know that everybody in my tribe can bring it.
Yeah.
And I want to build that tribe as big as possible.
Tell me about the next retreat, because I'm coming back. I'm booking my flights as soon as I leave. I'm coming back to the exact same place. It's a Balanced Man retreat again, so I'd imagine it's a similar
It's going to
setup.
be, we're going to run it back. Obviously, we've learned some things in this first one, so maybe the schedule changes a bit. But I feel like most of the tools and modalities that we've used in this first one has worked. The guys have responded really well. It's only going to get better. The retreat is December 9th through the 16th. If people want more information, they can go to thebalancedman.life, not .com. I've made that mistake myself.
Link in the description.
And we're hoping to fill it out. I personally think, because it is in December, it's before Christmas. This would be a great gift to give yourself. This would be a great gift if you're a female out there, and you've got a brother, a dad, a husband. This would be a great gift for them, because it's kind of going to be a gift for you too.
I think that's the. Not only have the personal experiences here helped me personally, I can see immediately how this is going to transpire to my life when I leave here, with my girlfriend, with my stepdaughter, with my sister, with my auntie, with my female friends, with my male friends, with my brothers, with my father, and my stepson. Like, everything I've learned here as we've been going, like with the Krav Maga, I'm like, oh, my stepdaughter needs to know that information, right? Jiu-jitsu, my girlfriend needs to know that information, you know? The boxing, my stepson needs to know that information. Like, I'm cherry picking all these incredible learnings that I'm receiving from you, brother. And the dream team here, the Jake, Jeremy, Todd, Casper, Lizzie, the dream team, that, as I've called it here, is the amount of knowledge that I've learned. And I've been a life coach for 13 years. Like, I've learned a bit. Do you know what I mean? I've learned a bit.
Pretty sharp guy.
I've learned a bit.
Yeah.
But the differences of what you learn here compared to what I learned 13 years coaching one-on-one, you can't even. It's like a book and a film. You can't even compare the two.
I was going to say, the beautiful thing is, we're not just helping men.
No.
Right? We're making better fathers.
Yeah.
Better husbands. Better brothers. Better sons. Better workers. Right? Better coaches. And I say we as the collective.
Yeah.
It's for everyone. And the more that people can see that, the more that it can spread, the more we can help fight some of the shit that's going on right now.
If anyone's watching this at home and is intrigued by all of this, what I would love to get across here is, it doesn't matter what shape you're in, it doesn't matter what size you are, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what struggles you're currently facing or have faced. None of that matters. This place is a haven. It's a heaven where you can find yourself again.
Yeah, and our demographic for this one is 28 to 68. Yeah. So they,
I mean, we have a mix here.
Range.
Yeah, we have a mix here, and it's just, it's worked perfectly. Now, you very kindly, for the viewers at home, you very kindly offered a place for free on the next Balanced Man retreat. Now, there are only limited places.
Yep.
But there's one space for free for somebody watching this. What would be your message to them?
Yeah, so there'll be, there'll be an interview form. Obviously, we want to, it's not going to be a drawing. It's going to be going to pick, and I'm not going to pick somebody I know, right? So, on the form, be as honest, be as open as possible, because I want to pick the person that needs this right now in their life the most.
So the next retreat is December the 9th to the 16th.
Very good.
I got there finally.
Finally got it.
From everyone out in the world, they fly to Liberia or Nasara.
Liberia, they would fly to Liberia, and then they have the option of, we'll set up a van for them, or they can take the Sansa flight into Nasara. It lands like 10 minutes from here. You can also fly into San Jose, and then you would just want to take the flight, not the van, because it's like a 6-hour van ride. Unless, somebody gets an incredible deal on a flight and it just makes sense. For me, the roads are not great, so I would recommend if it's easier for you to fly into San Jose, just take the Sansa flight. It's another 40-minute flight to come into Nosada.
And it's all inclusive.
It's all inclusive. You pay for your flight. We've got everything else. So yeah, man, it's amazing food, which I think you can attest to.
You're going to see some on the screen now. It's amazing.
Believe it or not, we're just coming out of the dead of winter. It's still winter right now, but December will be the start of the summer. It should be very, it'll be beautiful. Everything will still be green. The place is jumping with energy and life.
Mate, as we'll wrap up, I just want to take a personal second to thank you on a personal note, not only for the first retreat, not only for this retreat, and to all the retreats that I come back on. This truly has, not only have the opportunities arrived with the networking with the brothers and yourself and the team, but from a healing perspective, this came at the right time for me, and not only did I need it, I wanted it, I've embraced it, and I'm hungry for more. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I don't know what I would have done.
Love you, brother.
Thank you.
Yo, Pan, you ready?
Yeah.
Man, let's lock and load.
Yeah.
Just blaze.
Yeah.
No, turn me up.
Hey.
I think we got one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Tell me, what do you see when you're looking at me?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
On a mission to be what I'm destined to be.
Whoa, whoa,
hey, whoa. I've been through the pain and the sorrow, the struggle is nothing but love. Nothing but love. I'm a soldier, a rider, a ghetto survivor, and all the above. All the above. All the above. All the above.
Nothing, see me living my dreams. I done been to the bottom, I done suffered a lot. I deserve to be rich, headed straight to the top. Look how I ride for the block, look how I rap for the hood. I get nothing but love now when I come through the hood. Getting this fortune and fame, money make all of us change. The new Benz is all white, call it John McCain. How the hell could you stop me? Why in the world would you try? I go hard forever, that's just how I'm designed. That's just how I was built. See the look in my eyes, you take all of this from me, and I'm still gonna survive. You get truth from me, but these rappers gon' lie. I'm a part of these streets till the day that I die. I wave high to the haters, man, that I finally done made it. Take a look, and you can tell that I'm destined for greatness. Tell me, what do you see?
Hey, my name's Terry Bullman with The Balanced Man here at Casas Kismet in Nosada, Costa Rica. We just finished our first Balanced Man retreat. We had an epic week, a lot of growth, a lot of change for these men. The Balanced Man retreat is freedom through discipline. I think discipline is one of the biggest missing components with our men today. If you're looking to make a change, if you're not ready to quit yet, if you're not ready to hang it up, this retreat is for you. Our next retreat is December 9th through the 16th. I would love to see you here.